Hello listeners and viewers. Welcome to Kaduna State Ministry of Education Radio and TV e-learning program designed for our SS3 and other students staying at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. The present administration, under the able leadership of His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, is positioned as always to ensure that under his leadership, our students are not left behind in all areas of human endeavors, especially education. Kaduna State is the center of learning. Therefore, we want to ensure that our students excel in their forthcoming examinations and beyond. Students and other learners at home are given this opportunity in order to continue learning, as education is a continuous process. Different subjects will be taught in this program to assist students to perform excellently in the forthcoming Senior School Certificate examination being conducted by NECO and WAEC as soon as schools reopen. Teachers making presentations will always provide their names and phone numbers during each presentation, and they can be contacted for questions, further explanations, and/or clarifications. The following numbers and contacts can also be reached for expression of any concern or observation: 090-865-00545 or 080-383-62072. Our website is www.education.kdsg.gov.ng. Our email education@kdsg.gov.ng or education.kdsg@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Our Twitter handle @Kaduna_MOE. Or our Facebook page, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn well. Thank you, happy listening, and happy viewing.
Hello, my dear students. You are welcome to another episode of Computer Studies. My name is Ganiat Olarinoye. Our topic for today is Communication System 2. That's the continuation of the previous lesson. As I earlier discussed last lesson, we discussed about communication system, and we said the communication system is a field of study that concerns with the transmission of information in various means. That's the sending and receiving of information through ICT, that's information and communication technology. The ICT is the acronym that stands for Information and Communication Technology. And the ICT product covers different means. We have the personal system, we have the television, we have the personal computer, the email robot, all these, they are ICT products. And we said we have different types of ICT types. These include the broadcasting, the telecommunication, the information system, the data network, the information system. All this comprises of the information technology. Information technology is the what? Is the digital ways we are now. Because most of the means of communicating, we use ICT. In ancient days, we use various methods of transmission, various methods of what? Passing information. Like I gave you the example in our previous lesson, that we have the drumming, the gong beating, the trumpets, the bush burning, etc. All these are ancient what? Ways of passing out information. But with the invention of the ICT, because the world now is on ICT, that's the information and communication technology, we are in digital world now, as we all know. Let's take, for example, like the pandemic, that's the COVID-19 that is going on now. With the means of this ICT, we can transform information using the ICT product. We can transmit information using the e-learning, like the e-learning that you are receiving at home now, my dear students. You are at home receiving knowledge. We are transmitting knowledge to you at your home. These are all the work of the ICT, that's information and technology, communication technology. So now, we will continue with the communication system too. And in this aspect, we are relating with the what? Application areas of the ICT. That's under the communication system too. But before I start, the information and communication technology is used in the real world now because the world is in digital. It details the use of the hardware. And this hardware are the physical components of the what? Of the system, like our monitor, our keyboard, system units, etc. All these are the components of the system, and we call it the physical components of the computer. We have the software. Now this software is the program or set of instructions that is a set of instructions that direct the computer what to do. Without the software, the hardware cannot function because it's the software that directs the hardware on what to do. And the peripheral, because we said the hardware is split into two. We have the system software units and we have the peripherals. That's the physical component in each application and the impact that this has and is having on our society. Yes, because the world now is in digital form. That's the reason why we can send or transmit information through the world. Our SSU students that are already preparing for their examination, they are still learning. Despite the fact that they are at home, they are receiving their learning through the use of the ICT, that's the information on the communication tech. And the application areas of the ICT, there are numerous applications of ICT. The application areas include 1, we have the teleconference. 2, we have video conferencing. 3, we have telepresence. 4, we have telecommunication and networking. 5, we have telecomputing. 6, we have messaging. And 7, we have information search and retrieval. All these are some of the application area in which we can apply using the information and communication technology. Let's take the teleconference. What do you mean by teleconference? Teleconferencing is a telephone meeting among 2 or more people using ICT. You may ask, what did I mean by telephone meeting? We may have meeting here. Because of the what? The COVID-19, we cannot meet physically. But with the use of the teleconferencing, we can still hold the meeting based use on our what? Our system by communicating. We will have the meeting using our system by communicating as if we are having a live meeting. Thus, the message can be audio or video. It can be in form of live voice communication or voice messages or data and graphics over telephone call. Yes. Now, let me give you an example. I'm in the school here. When I have to have meeting with my students, I can use my own phone, using my telephone line, and I will have to convert to what? We connect together with their own system or their own mobile phone. And they will be receiving my what? My voice as if we are meeting in the same classroom. This can serve as an example of teleconferencing. We have video conferencing. Video conferencing is a set of interactive telecommunication technology which allow 2 or more people in different locations to what? To interact via two-way video and audio transmission simultaneously. It can be through audio and video. You will be seeing and at the same time listening. That's audio and video through the what? Through means of telecommunication. That is the reason why we said it's a set of interactive telecommunication technology which allow 2 or more people in different locations. It doesn't matter where your location is. You can receive and interact through the video conferencing. That's the reason why we said is the interactive telecommunication, which allow 2 or more people in different locations to interact via 2 video and audio transmissions simultaneously. You will interact simultaneously without any intrude or any problem, because we are using the video conferencing due to the location. So this is another example of one of the application of the ICT. The third, we have telepresence. The telepresence is the technology that offers almost exact experience as a face-to-face meeting. That's a face-to-face meeting. It allows you to hear and also see the other person. That's a face-to-face meeting. You will see me, I'm seeing you, and at the same time, we are interact using our computer or mobile phone. This is the third aspect of the application of the ICT. We also have telecommunicating and networking. The telecommunicating and networking uses ICT technology such as the internet networking, the databases, and many others to establish connection, control information flow, store information, and so on. The telecommunication and the networking, we said, is the use of the ICT. That's the communication through what? Through broadcast. The telecommunication can be either through radio or television broadcast or radio broadcast or satellite broadcast. It depends on which of the telecommunication you are using. If it is the broadcasting, we know it consists of the radio, the television, and the satellite. That is the telecommunication. And you are all familiar with what I mean by radio. You are all familiar with your TV, because you have your TV set at your home. You have your radio. All these are examples of telecommunication tech. We have networking. What I mean by networking? Networking is the what? Is the connection of different systems sharing the same sharing information or resources. Take, for example, like a cyber cafe. I know you visit cyber cafe and you know what a cafe means, because it comprises of what? Different computers network together. These computers are being joined together in order to be able to share resources and information. That is simply what networking is, because it is being joined together and you are sharing the resources and information within the system. And we have telecomputing. Telecomputing is the fifth aspect of the application of ICT. The telecomputing is the use of computers for communication. When we use our computers to communicate, we are telecomputing. They use ICT technology such as internet and intranet for communicating with computers. We are all familiar with the internet because we browse. We browse through our what? Through our net. That's what we call the web. You can also call it a web, or you call it the internet. We can view the internet or the web using what we call a browser. The browser is the software or is the program that we use to browse the net. And we have different examples of browser. We have like the Firefox, we have the Mozilla Firefox, we have the Netscape Navigator. All these are examples of the software that we use in browsing. We have messaging. What messaging? Messaging is the sixth aspect of the application of the ICT. A message is an object of communicating using ICT. The message can be in form of email, SMS, that's short messages. We have audio, we have video, etc. That's messaging. Take for example, for those of you that chat, you use your mobile phone to chat in form of what? Sending message. So that can serve as an example of messaging, communicating. That's you are communicating using your what? Using the means of what? Sending a message, using either your SMS, which is short messages, you use audio, you use video. All these are examples using the what? Messaging under the application area of the ICT. We have the seventh one, which we call information search and retrieval. Information search. The information search is a process or an act of looking for information on the web. That's an act of looking for information on the web or on the internet. And information retrieval is the science of searching for documents. That's the difference between the information search, because we said information search is the process of or an act of looking for information on the web. And information retrieval is the science of searching for documents. The internet search engines can also be used to search and retrieve information from the internet. Example, we have the Google. You are all familiar with the Google search engine because it's one of the common search engines that we have. It serves to what? To serve for information on the net. It's just like a search engine. When you want to search for information, you type the actual documents or what you are looking for from the net, and you click, it will search for you the information in which you are expecting. That's an example. That's the reason why I gave example of the Google, because it's the most common search engine that we have. The next, we talk about the ICT-based gadgets. That's the information and communication-based gadgets. What do you mean by gadgets? A gadget is a small technological object or a device that has a particular function. Thus, the ICT-based gadgets are basically devices used for information and communication technology. That's the gadgets. Because any ICT product is a gadget, because we use it for the what? Information what? Transmission. That's the reason why we call it any particular gadget, any particular device that functions for a particular purpose. Some of the ICT-based gadgets are, one, we have the mobile phone, which is the most common example that you students can understand easily. I know you are all familiar with the mobile phone. The mobile phone is an electronic handheld device used to make mobile telecalls. Common manufacturers of mobile phones are like the Samsung, the Tecno, the BlackBerry, Infinix, among others. We have different manufacturers of what? Of mobile phone. Because the mobile phone is an easier asset or easier ICT gadget that we use, and which is very, very common. Because if you should look at the ratio of people that uses the mobile phone, is very common compared to the telephone that we use. Because most telephone now is not in, we use it, but it's not as common as the mobile phone, because mobile phone is the major aspect of the ICT that we use for transmitting information. The next, we have the computers. You are all familiar with computers because we have been using computers for the past decade years. That's the reason why we have different generations of computers. In the 1960s, we have like the first generation computers, we have the second generation, we have the third, we have the fourth. And now we are in the fifth generation of computers. That's the reason why we said we have 5G. 5G network that is going on now is still among the fifth generation of computer. So it is not a new network, but the only thing is that it is an advance of the fifth generations that we're using. like the computers that we are using now. Take, for example, the laptop, the mini computer, the palm top, the personal computers that we're using. They all fall under the 5th generation of computer. So the 5G network now is just an advance of the 5th generation computers, but we have the 5th generation of computers. Since 1990s, we've been using the 5th generations of computers. So we said a computer is an electronic device for storing and processing data. Some may say is an electronic device which is capable of accepting data, storing data, retrieving, and giving out information as as a product, or as answers as an output. And we said computers come in various types. Some common computer types are the personal computers, the laptops, the iPad, the palm tops, the notebook computer, and so on, as I earlier said. These are some of the mini computers that we use these days. So that is the computers in in the ICT gadgets. The next one is the fax machine. What do you mean by fax machine? We also call it fax mail. Thus, the fax machine is a device that can send and receive pictures and text over a telephone line. It's just like a printer, but it's not a printer. It's just like a printer, but it's not a printer, because we use it in sending and receiving pictures and text over a telephone line. That is the third aspect of the ICT-based gadget. The next one is the ATM, automated teller machine. You are all familiar with ATM. You will see it at the bank. We use the ATM because it's very common in everywhere now. An automated teller machine, also known as the ATM, is a computerized device that provides the clients of financial institutions access to financial transactions in a public space without the need of a cashier, a human clerk, or a bank teller. You don't need a clerk. You don't need a bank teller before you use your ATM. That is why it is called automated teller machine. You don't need any clerk or any bank teller. You just You just insert your ATM card. You either check your balance or withdraw without anybody having access to it. That is ATM. The next is the dispensing machine, or we call it vending machine. This is a machine which dispenses items such as snacks, beverages, lotteries, tickets, etc. to customer automatically. This type of machine is usually used in an hotel because it uses it to dispense snacks, lottery tickets to customer automatically. That's the fifth aspect of it. The next we have the POS. That's the point of sale machine. This is a machine that is used to carry out retail transactions. It can provide many services such as credit card processing, check reading, and cash transaction. We can check our transaction and we can cash it using the POS. We withdraw with it, we check our transaction. That's the point of sale machine. The seventh one is the radio set, which you all have at your home. That's the radio set can be defined as the electronic receiver that identifies, modulates, and amplifies transmitted signals. Those of you that you are listening to me at home now, listen to this e-learning, you are listening to the radio. So it's one of the information and communication tech gadgets because you receive knowledge that the lesson is taking place using your what? Using your radio set. We have the television set. The television set, also called a TV, it is a device that is used to view broadcast. For those of you that you are watching me, you are viewing through the TV set. That is just an example of a what? Of an ICT-based gadget. So these are some of the examples that we have under the ICT-based gadget. With this, I hope your lesson has taken place. I hope lesson has taken place by all the ICT-based gadgets that were listed. And before I leave, I will give you just few assignments. The first one, I want you to state 4 application area of ICT, which is information and communication technology. I repeat, state 4 application of ICT, that's information and communication technology. Question 2, mention any 4 ICT-based gadgets. Have given you about 8 ICT-based gadgets. You should give me just only 4. For more reference, for more research, or for more learning, you can use these reference books. 1, we have Computer Studies for Senior Secondary School by J.O.E. Otukam, A.F. Akande, S.L. Ingila. Let me take it again. Computer Studies for Senior Secondary School by J.O.E. Otukam, A.F. Akande, S.L. Ingila. The second one, you can also use Computer Studies for Senior Secondary School Education by its PLC. That's Computer Studies for Senior Secondary School Education by HIIT PLC. I hope learning has taken place. If you have any question or submission of assignments or any comments, you contact me, Ganiat Olarinoye, with this number 08037377900. I repeat, 08037377900. Stay home, stay safe, keep learning.